Anand Bihari Prabhu for giving me this opportunity once again to be with all of you at the Bhakti Center. Just give me, can you make me the co-host, Prabhu, so I can share the verses? Share my
Yes,
screen.
Prabhu.
Thank you.
You can, okay.
Hare Krishna. Yes, so I can share now. So let's begin with our auspicious invocation prayers. Om अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So dear devotees of the Bhakti Center, as Anand Bihari Prabhu was mentioning, today is the very auspicious day of Sharat Purnima. It is the full moon night, the full moon day, and tonight, around 5,000 years ago, Shri Shri Radha Murlidhar performed their most celebrated, most famous, and also most misunderstood pastime of the Ras Leela, the Ras dance. So let us begin with our verses for today from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are going to read several verses today, and this is from the 41st chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The chapter is entitled Krishna and Balaram Enter Mathura. Text 24. Tam sapravishthau वसुदेवनन्दनौ वृष्टौ वयस्यै नरदेववर्त्मना द्रष्टुं समीयोस्त्वरिता पुरस्त्रियो हर्म्याणि चैवारुरुः नृपोत्सुकाः. Translations and purports by the humble disciples of our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The women of Mathura hurriedly assembled and went forth to see the two sons of Vasudeva as they entered the city on the king's road, surrounded by their cowherd boyfriends. So Krishna and Balaram are entering Mathura. Both are sons of Vasudeva and Devaki. And all the women of Mathura, they are rushing out of their homes to come and see Krishna and Balaram as they enter Mathura. And Krishna and Balaram are not by themselves. They are surrounded by their friends from Vrindavan. Some of the women, my dear king, eagerly climbed to the roofs of their houses to see them. Now, because everyone was rushing to the side of the roads to have a glance, to have a glimpse of Krishna and Balaram, some of the ladies of Mathura thought we may not be able to behold Krishna and Balaram to our full satisfaction because there is so much crowd. We will not be able to see Krishna Balaram properly. So they climbed on the terrace, on the roof of their homes to take darshan of Krishna. This is called eagerness, enthusiasm. Text 25. Kaschid viparyadhritavastra-bhushana vismritya chaikam yugale shathaparah kritaikapatra shravanaikanupura naktva dvitiyam aparaschalochanam. Some of the ladies of Mathura put their clothes and ornaments on backwards. So they wore their clothes backwards. They wore their ornaments backwards. Others forgot one of their earrings or ankle bells, and others applied makeup to one eye, but not the other. This was their intense eagerness to have darshan of Krishna and Balaram. Balaram represents the spiritual master, and Krishna is the Supreme Lord. This is the eagerness they had to see Guru and Krishna, the eagerness to be with the spiritual master and Krishna, that they just don't know how to wear the clothes, even though they do it every day. Such eagerness, such enthusiasm that they wore the clothes backwards. Their necklace and everything, the way they are supposed to wear, they wore it backwards. Clothes were inside out. They just were so eager to just rush out. They didn't want to miss the glimpse of Krishna and Balaram. They were putting mascara on one eye and then just forgot to put it on the other. As soon as they heard Krishna Balaram have come, Krishna Balaram have come, they're right in front of the road. They just ran, left everything, dropped everything and ran to have darshan of Krishna. Some of them had worn one anklet. They forgot to put on the other anklet. Such was the eagerness. In the purport it is said, the ladies of Mathura were very eager to see Krishna, and in their haste and excitement, they forgot themselves. They forgot themselves. Text 26. Ashnantya ekastadupasya sotsava abhyajamana akritopamajjanaha swapantya utthaya nishamya nishsvanam prapayayantyo rabham apoyamataraha. Those who were taking their meals, they abandoned their meals. Others went out without finishing their baths or massages. Some of them, now in Vedic culture, taking a shower is not like what we do. Just turn on the shower and put some soap and then. No, in the Vedic culture, it's called snan, taking snan or shower or bath. First, you have to put fragrant oils. These oils, if we go to buy today, they'll be very expensive. We will not even be able to understand how the culture was so rich in those days. They would apply sandalwood oil, for example, to the whole body. And after a nice oil massage, they would take a shower. And also they would put very different fragrant substances on the body. And in that way, they would take a bath. So some of them were taking their bath when they heard the news that Krishna Balaram are there. They're passing right in front of the house. So they just, without finishing their bath, without finishing their oil massage, they just ran. Some women who were sleeping at once arose when they heard the commotion and they went out to see Krishna. Some mothers were breastfeeding their infants. So they quickly kept their infants aside and ran to have darshan of Krishna. Such was their eagerness. Text 27. Manamsi tasam aravindalochanaha pragalbha leela hasitavalokaihi Jahara matta dendra vikramo drisham dadashri ramanat manotsavam. Aravinda Netra, Aravinda Lochana, the lotus-eyed Lord Krishna, smiling as he recalled his bold pastimes. So Krishna is walking on the road of Mathura, and Krishna is smiling to himself. Why Krishna is smiling at himself as he's walking? Because he's remembering Pragalbha Leela. He's remembering his own pastimes. How he killed all the demons that were sent by this Kansa to Vrindavan. How he killed Putana, how he killed Shakatasur, how he killed Trinavarta, how he killed Aghasur, Bakasur.
I don't know how to respond to that.
So Krishna is remembering his own pastimes. And he's smiling at himself. What does this tell us? This tells us that God is also a person. Krishna has feelings. Krishna has a sense of humor. Krishna is a person. God is not just some impersonal power. God is a person, just like you and me. But the difference is, he's all powerful. We are minute, infinitesimal, but God is infinite. That is a difference. So Krishna is remembering his own pastimes and smiling at himself as he walks on the streets of Mathura, and captivated those ladies' minds with his glances. And Krishna, as he looked at all the ladies of Mathura who had come to take his darshan, who had come to see him, just by casting his glance at those ladies, Krishna captivated their hearts, completely captivated their hearts and minds. Krishna walked with the gait of a lordly elephant in rut. Krishna was walking with the majesty and confidence of an elephant. That's how Krishna walked, creating a festival for their eyes with his transcendental body. And Krishna is so beautiful. Every limb of Krishna's body is so exquisitely, perfectly beautiful that it was a festival for the eyes. In our colloquial language, we say, oh, he's easy on the eyes, or she is easy on the eyes, which means the person is good looking. Well, Krishna was not just easy on the eyes. Krishna is a festival for the eyes. Krishna is a festival for the eyes. He's the most beautiful. So he was a pleasure for the eyes. And also Krishna is so beautiful, so handsome, that Krishna is a source of pleasure for the goddess of fortune, Shri. Shri means our Shriji, Radharani. So Krishna is the source of pleasure for Radharani. Krishna always pleases Radharani with all his activities. Text 28. Drishtva muhu shrutamanu drutachetasastam tat prekshanot-smita sudho kshana labdhamana anandamurtimupaguyya drishatma labdham rishyatvacho jahuranantamarindamadhim. The ladies of Mathura had repeatedly heard about Krishna, and thus as soon as they saw him, their hearts melted. This is very important, my dear friends. We also want our hearts to melt for Krishna. How do we do that? It is only possible if we hear about Krishna from the right source. If we hear from the wrong source, then it will not have the desired effect. We want to love Krishna because that's our constitutional nature. Jivera Swarup hai Krishna Nityadas. It is our nature to be loving devotees of Krishna. That's who we constitutionally are. That's our nature, to love Krishna. But because of so many conditionings, because of influence of so many distractions and false propaganda, our love has been transformed into lust. Hare Krishna. Just like free-flowing water gets transformed into hard ice by the influence of cold temperature, similarly, our heart, which is supposed to melt and flow towards Krishna, Gange Vaugham, just like our heart is supposed to melt and flow towards Krishna, unfortunately, it has become very hard because of exposure to so much false propaganda in this world. You are so and so. You need to do such and such thing. No. We are not Americans. We are not Indians. We are not black. We are not white. We are not Democrats. We are not Republicans. We are not Israelis. We are not Palestinians. We are not Hindus. We are not Muslims. We are not Christians. We are not Jews. We are not belonging to any of these material designations. We are not educated, we are not uneducated. We are neither rich nor poor. We are neither middle class nor lower class nor upper class. No, we are none of these designations, because none of these designations are permanent. An Indian can become an American can become an Indian. A Hindu can become a Muslim can become a Hindu. These are not permanent designations. And then in our next life, we may be born as a dog or a cockroach. Then what? Then who are we? Then again the designation changes. So we are none of these. Our holy scriptures describe that we belong to God. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Mama amsha jiva loka jiva bhuta sanatana. Eternally, you belong to me. Suridam sarvabhutanam. I am your best friend. And we are meant to become devotees of Krishna. Krishna says, Man mana bhavamad bhakto. Bhavamad bhakta means become my devotee. Become my devotee. Because that's who you are. Like Mufasa tells Simba in the movie Lion King, you have become less than what you are. He was not meant to eat some worms and insects. That's not who he is. Although he thought, that's what I am. But his father reminded him, you are meant to be who you are. You are a lion. You're supposed to be the king of the jungle. Similarly, we are Sat Chid Ananda. We are pure spiritual entities, full of knowledge, full of spiritual bliss. We are supposed to be Anand Bihari. Just like Krishna is Anand Bihari, we are also Anand Bihari. But we are supposed to enjoy with Krishna. The problem is we are trying to search for happiness in a world of unhappiness. We can never be peaceful and happy in this world, because that's not how this world is meant to be. This is Dukkhalaya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this world is a place of misery. It's like going to a library and saying, can I get my prescription filled here? No, in a library you will get books, because it is Pustakala, it's a library, you'll get books. And you go to a Aushadhalaya, you go to a pharmacy, you'll get medicines. So a person who goes with a prescription to a library, the local county library, and says, hey, I want to fill my prescriptions here, the librarian will laugh. You are in the wrong place. You want to fill your prescription, go to a pharmacy. And vice versa. You go with your library card to the pharmacy and say, I want to get books issued. The pharmacist will say, go to the library. You're in the wrong place. This sounds crazy, but that's exactly what each and every one of us is doing in this world. And not just for a few years, not just for a few lifetimes, for millions of lifetimes we have been doing this, searching for happiness in a world where there is no real happiness. There is semblance of happiness, but that is only to make us more miserable. In the olden days, people were punished sometimes. Their head was held, then there were some criminals, they were taken to the local river, and someone would hold them by their hair and just push their head underwater until they were almost about to pass out. And then they were pulled up so they could take a deep breath. And again their head was forcibly submerged underwater. So they would be gasping for breath, desperate for air, oxygen. And when they were about to die, they would be allowed to come out, catch a few breaths, and again drown. That's exactly how this material world is. We suffer as insects, short lives, we are crushed. Someone sprays us with some insecticide, we are killed. We have been grass, we have been trampled upon. We have been weeds. We have been cut when people mow their grass. We have been through all these species. If you study zoology and nature, it is very obvious how much these animals suffer. We see them as majestic animals, or tiger, grizzly bear. But if we simply study their lives are miserable. They are not at all enviable. They are miserable lives. They have to go without food for months. They have to struggle for existence, fight with other bear just to find a mate. They have to fight for food. Many times they lose their life fighting. Their environment, their habitat is encroached upon by human beings. Our national bird is the bald eagle. If we simply read what is the state of the bald eagle today, we will understand it's such a painful existence the bald eagles have. People spray insecticides, this, that. They come and they eat and they get poisoned and they die. Their habitat is destroyed. They don't have place to live. And even when everything is perfect for them, food is hard to find. And then there is competition with other members of the same species, always. This world, after going through all this, all these species, we finally come to the human species of life. And then we have to go through terrorist attacks, random shootings, wars, so many diseases. There is a COVID pandemic. There is some Hurricane Otis. It's just one thing after the other. Just think in your lifetime, how many wars you have witnessed. In your lifetime. In my lifetime, I can count. I have seen the India-Pakistan war. I have seen communal riots. I have seen the Kargil war. I have seen the Iraq war. I have seen the Afghanistan war. I have seen so many things. Israel-Palestine war, India-China war. It's just always there is disturbance in this world. There has been the war in Congo, Korean war, this, that, Vietnam war. There is no peace in this world. And it's going to be like this. And as time goes by, things are going to get worse because Kali Yuga is progressing. Our holy scriptures tell us that things are only going to get worse. So what is the solution? The solution is to take shelter of Radha Murlidhar, to take shelter of the spiritual master and make our life perfect so we never have to come in this world. These sufferings exist so that we look for the exit. Imagine if we are in a cinema hall and someone comes and starts shooting. It happened. It happened in Colorado a few years ago. People are watching a movie and someone just walks in and starts shooting. I'm giving you a real life scenario. What do? We look for exit. Therefore, everywhere, exits are marked out very clearly in red. In any public place, the exits are marked. If there is an emergency, if there is distress, if there's a problem, catastrophe, just exit. Well, this world is a world of catastrophe and disasters and pain and suffering. Is dukhalaya. Anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, having come to this miserable temporary world where everything is temporary, even if we think we are not miserable, I've got a nice job, I live in Upper East Side Manhattan, I'm fine, I've got it figured out, it's not so miserable, don't be so pessimistic. Then Krishna says it's temporary. Even if you think you're very happy in this world, it's temporary. It's dukhalaya ashashvatam. Ashashvatam means temporary. All your achievements are temporary. Death will take away everything. Mrityu sarva harascham. Death will come and everything will be taken away. All your education, all your savings, all your money, all your gadgets, everything will be taken away. And then what do? Including your social media accounts. People will write RIP, 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 finished. And you'll be forgotten. That's how this world is. So what we should do is look for the exit. How do we exit this world? We don't want to be here. This is not where we belong. Because by nature, the soul is eternal, but this world is temporary. That's a very incompatible situation. We are like a fish out of water. Bhakti means to realize this and to understand who our real friend is. Our real friend is Radha Murlidhar. They will never cheat us. Our spiritual master will never cheat us. This world will cheat us. And that's a fact. So bhakti means, the bhakti center means to make Radha Murlidhar the center of our devotion and direct our love, which is misdirected at present, to where it belongs. All love is meant for Radha Murlidhar because Radharani is the source of love and she loves Krishna and Krishna loves her. In fact, all these ladies of Mathura are getting their love for Krishna from Radharani. She is the source of all. Even Yashoda gets her love for Krishna from Radharani. Radharani is the source of all love. We get our love from Radharani. So we should give it where it belongs. It belongs to her Murlidhar. She's leasing it to us. It's like a company leasing us a car. Imagine if our boss gives us a company leased car. Take this car and do this official work. And we take the car and yay, I'm going to Key West. I'm going to drive all the way from New York to Key West. But the car has been given to us to go to Boston for some work. So that's what we are doing with our life, using it for the wrong purposes. So Srimad Bhagavatam reminds us what real priorities are and what we are supposed to do with our life. And if we do that, oh, it is so blissful. It is so blissful to do what we are supposed to do, because then it's natural. It's how it's meant to be. So the hearts of the ladies melted just by hearing about Krishna, because they had heard from the gopis. They had heard from the devotees. They had heard sometimes Narad Muni would visit Kamsa and he would sing about Krishna. He would glorify Krishna. So these ladies of Mathura had heard from the right source, and we are hearing from the right source, from Srila Prabhupada, from Srimad Bhagavatam, from the commentaries of our acharyas like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We are hearing too. And if we just hear with faith and we hear regularly and we hear enough, our hearts will also melt for Krishna. They felt honored that he was sprinkling upon them the nectar of his glances and his broad smiles. They were just happy that Krishna was looking at them and smiling. Taking him into their hearts through their eyes, they embraced him. This is what we should do when we see our spiritual master. We should look at our spiritual master through our eyes and bring him into our heart. Nobody knows what we are doing. And heart to heart, we should embrace our Gurudev. When we look at Radha Murlidhar, we cannot go on the altar and embrace them. Anand Vihari Prabhu will tell us, get down from the altar. But with our eyes, we can do it, heart to heart. No one knows. There is no restriction there. Look at Radha Murlidhar, look at Gauranga, and through your eyes, bring them in your heart and embrace them every time we take darshan. Now they are going to give darshan in a few minutes. That's what we should do. This is what Bhagavatam is teaching us. Through our eyes, bring Radha Murlidhar in your heart and embrace them. Bring Gauranga Mahaprabhu in your heart and embrace him. The embodiment of all ecstasy. They are the embodiment of all ecstasy. And if we bring them in our heart, then their ecstasy will rub onto us. And as their bodily hair stood on end, and as the ladies of Mathura did this, they embraced Krishna in their heart, heart to heart. Their hair stood on end as a symptom of ecstasy. And Shukdev Goswami is telling Parishit Maharaj, they forgot the unlimited distress caused by his absence. How much they missed Krishna, how much they were eager to see Krishna. They had been hearing about Krishna for years. And finally the day had come when Krishna was going to walk on the street in front of their house. So all their distress was gone. We have, I think, 2 more verses very quickly. Verse 29. Prasada shikhararuda prit utphulla mukhambujaha abhyavarshan saumanasyahi pramada balakeshava. Balakeshava means Balram and Keshav, Krishna. Their lotus faces blooming with affection, the ladies who had climbed to the roofs of the mansions rained down showers of flowers upon Krishna and Balram. Remember some ladies had gone to the terraces, the rooftops. From the roofs of their mansions, they were showering flower petals, flowers upon Krishna and Balaram. Hari Bol. Text 30. Dad akshataye sodapatrai sraggandhair abhyupayanai tav anarchu pramuditas tatra tatra dvijatayah. The Brahmanas standing along the way honored the two lords, Krishna and Balaram, with presentations of yogurt, unbroken barley corns, pots full of water, garlands, fragrant substances such as sandalwood paste, and other items of worship. This was the rich Vedic culture where such presentations were given. Pots filled with water, garlands made of fresh, fragrant flowers, and other perfumes like sandalwood paste, yogurt, and other auspicious items of worship. They were presented to Krishna and Balaram. And then the last verse, verse 31. Uchu paura aho gopya stapak kim acharan mahat ya etav anupashyanti naraloka mahotsava. The women of Mathura exclaimed, having seen Krishna in this way, the ladies of Mathura exclaimed, "Oh, what severe austerities the gopis must have performed to be able to see regularly Krishna and Balaram, who are the greatest source of pleasure for all mankind. Naraloka Mahotsava. They are the greatest source of pleasure to everyone. What austerities these gopis must have performed, that they have non-stop association of Krishna and Balaram." This is the heart of a Vaishnava. This is the heart of a devotee. The devotee always knows that getting Krishna is not something cheap. One has to perform austerities to get something valuable. If we want to get into one of the Ivy League universities, we have to work hard. We have to get a good GPA. We have to have good essays. We have to have good extracurricular achievements. Then we can get into a good university. So imagine how much we have to work to get Krishna, which is the highest attainment. But the good news is the universities, they have a limitation how many candidates they can accept, how many students they can admit each year. So they are going to screen and they are going to reject. Well, the good news is in Golok Vrindavan, there is no limitation. Krishna is unlimited. His spiritual abode is also unlimited. So Krishna can take unlimited number of devotees. And the point is Krishna wants us there. That's why he comes in this world. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. What is Dharma teaching us? Dharma is teaching us how we can get Krishna. Man mana bhavaman bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evashyasi. Krishna is giving us the formula how to come to him. Mam evashyasi means you will come to me. Repeatedly in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells us things we need to do, so we get Krishna. So we go to Krishna's abode. So Krishna wants us. He is like a dean who has decided, I want you. I want you. It's almost like he's going to draft us. You come with me. That is how much Krishna loves us. And then he sends his agents, authorized agents like Srila Prabhupada. So all we have to do is chant Hare Krishna, hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, associate with devotees, and our life will be sublime. Everything will happen if we do these things. Then our heart will also melt. But the point of the last verse is that getting Krishna is not something cheap. We have to work for it. We have to try. And we have to be sincere. We have to want Krishna. Like these ladies of Mathura, they wanted Krishna. They had heard of Krishna. They were in love with Krishna. They were attracted to Krishna. And they were very eagerly wanting Krishna. We also have to follow in their footsteps. Bhakti means to follow in the footsteps of the Bhagavatam devotees. So we should take inspiration from these devotees. And we should also think how much I have to do to get Krishna. Because all these great devotees have got Krishna. Rupa Goswami used to cry reading Srimad Bhagavatam. When Rupa Goswami used to read the 4th canto, reading about Dhruv Maharaj, how much Dhruv Maharaj gave up to get Krishna. He gave up eating. Then he gave up drinking water. Then he even gave up breathing. Rupa Goswami said, hi, I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I am not like Dhruv Maharaj. How will I ever get Krishna? Thinking like this, with great humility, Rupa Goswami used to cry. This is our path, my dear friends. To be humble, to be sincere, and to be desperate for Krishna. So now when Radha Murlidhar give darshan, make sure you take them in your heart and embrace them. And Lord Gauranga, who is the combined form of Radha Murlidhar, and Srila Prabhupada, who has connected us to Radha Murlidhar and Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Thank you very much, dear devotees. I will stop here. Hare Krishna.
Adi Gadadhar Prabhu, wonderful class. I see Adipusha Prabhu is crying. He's crying for Krishna with sincerity, humility, and desperation. Wow. So nicely said. Okay, devotees, it's your turn. Let's reflect, ask questions. Let's do it. Srimad Bhagavatam is a conversation. Who wants to contribute? Turn on your camera if you can, and let's do it. It's Saturday. We can go over time. Adi? Charudas. Chirayu. Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah? Yeah, fantastic class. Glorious. It's like a breath of fresh air hearing from you, glorifying Krishna with such sincerity, enthusiasm, and joy. The concept of seeing Krishna, it's just like Vaishya Shekhar Prabhu talks about book distribution. And he says, the hand is made to grasp. So trust the hand. So he holds out the book. And naturally the hand takes it. People take it because the hand is meant to do that. So the eyes are meant to see something. We have to see something. We're not just blinded and inactive and asleep. So the perfection of the eyes is to see Krishna. And we're actually trying to please Krishna by seeing him. Krishna is showing his love for us. Krishna is showing his love for us by revealing himself and coming into this world and appearing as a deity. So just like when we take prasadam, we have to eat something, and if we don't have prasadam, we'll wind up eating something that's less pleasing to Krishna, less nourishing, even hellish. So when we have the appropriate spiritual component for the tongue, for the hand, for the eyes, for the smell, and we can fill our life. Prabhupada says we don't say don't eat, don't dance, don't sing, but we see the beautiful form of Krishna, and we touch the devotees, and we smell the fragrance offered to Krishna, and we take the prasadam offered to Krishna, and all our senses are engaged and absorbed and satisfied. And this is a way of reciprocating with the love Krishna shows to us by giving us the Srimad Bhagavatam and devotees like Adi Prabhu to speak to us. And we're satisfied in that. So we're trying to arrange our life according to the Guru's instructions so that we have spiritual things to look at and to smell and to taste and to touch and to hear, and for the mind, all these things are there. So wonderful. And we will be satisfied in that. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. We pray to Srila Prabhupada what to say. We're only saying what we've heard from Guru and Krishna. And Prabhu, thank you so much for a wonderful class. All glories to Prabhupada.
Thank you, Adi Purush Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
The perfection of the phone is Zoom class on Srimad Bhagavatam. The perfection of the guitar is the morning guitar songs by Adipusha Prabhu and his orchestra.
For any devotee.
Yeah. Wow, look at Bhima Prabhu's screen. Look at that. Bhima Prabhu, you wanted to say something?
Yes, hi. Is Adi Gadadhar Maharaj still there?
Hare Krishna, Bhima Prabhu. I'm here.
Haripa Prabhu. Very quickly, before the conch blows, we note that Krishna comes into Mathura. Obviously, can I be heard? Is everything
Yes.
okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. In order to give pleasure to his devotees. And the women of Mathura, the princesses, the garland maker, the cowherd boys having their fun, Balaram and Krishna striding like young lions. And the devotees come to understand that when they see Krishna and Balaram in this manner, in their youthful beauty, that they fall in love. And then there's no question of anything else. There's no question of anything else when you're in love. It oversweeps, submersives, assimilates you into the essence of Krishna and his presence in our lives. But my question is this: we understand that Krishna, like an arrow, flies through Mathura, but where he lands, his target is his hand in the hair of Kamsa, dragging him from the throne and striking him repeatedly and ending the tyranny. All things led to that. All the demons that Krishna had to take care of in Vrindavan, all the Chanaka the two wrestlers, I forget their names, even Narada Muni, speeding things along, instigating, Kamsa to do heinous activities. We see in this day and age that these things are happening. Those of us who, decide to remain informed as to what's going on behind the scenes in our contemporary times. Should we just simply be content with falling in love with Krishna, or knowing more about Krishna and chanting Hare Krishna, and that's all there is to it, and Krishna will take care of everything? Or should we feel like perhaps, as Arjuna on the battlefield, saying, Krishna, what do you want me to do? There is, as there always is, as stated, there are always wars. So should we just sit at home and crouch? If somebody comes and I have a house and I've, worship my God in my house, and I have a couple of olive trees, and somebody comes in with a bulldozer and bulldozes my house over in order to, build their own house, should I just simply say Hare Krishna, and walk away meekly? Or should I stand and fight? What do we do when we are faced with these things? We understand that our strength, everything about us, every cell in our body is Krishna's grace upon us. But what is it that we're supposed to do? Are we supposed to simply passively worship, or are we supposed to actively fight on behalf of Krishna? That's my question, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. A devotee does not have two lives. A devotee has only one life, and that is a life for Krishna. It's not that a devotee has a material life where we engage with this world, and then we have a spiritual life when we go to the Bhakti Center and we attend the Bhagavatam class. A devotee has only one life. A devotee is only one-faced. Devotee has only one face. We don't live dual lives. We'll continue after the darshan.
Turn on your cameras, dear devotees, if you can. Darshan time.
Anandachimaya sadhu Svala vigrahasya Govinda Adipurusha Bhajami Govinda Adipurusha Bhajami Govinda Haripurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Tamaham Haripurusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Okay, Adi Gadadhar Prabhu, you said we only have one life. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. So we have only one face. We are one-faced. We are not two-faced. So this concept should be clear that I am Bhima Das. I am Adi Gadadhar Das. I am Anand Bihari Das. And that's who I am. We don't have two lives. One is a material life and one is a spiritual life. Sometimes we are devotees. Sometimes we are a professional working in this world, engaging with this world. That's not so. We are devotee of Krishna. We are followers of Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's who we are. Now, with this background, Bhima Prabhu, any situation that comes in our life, we respond as Vaishnavas. We respond as devotees. And Vaishnavas are of different types. There are Kshatriya Vaishnavas like Arjun, and there are Brahman Vaishnavas like Sudama. And there are all sorts of Vaishnavas. So depending on what situation Krishna puts us in, we respond as Vaishnavas in that situation. If someone is encroaching on our property, it is not our property. Because we belong to Krishna. Those olive trees are Krishna's trees. The house is Krishna's trees. And how can we stand and watch someone bulldoze Krishna's property? When Ladini Mataji, have you heard of Ladini Mataji? New Vrindavan. When Ladini Mataji, disciple of Srila Prabhupada, she was 40 years old. And in West Africa, Liberia, Prince Johnson, who did a political coup and he took over the government of Liberia in 1990, he pulled out all the 9 devotees in the Liberian temple, Ladini Mataji, and there was one more Mataji, and there were 7 brahmacharis. 2 ladies and 7 brahmacharis, and he had soldiers wielding AK-47s, and he told them that I'm going to kill all the men. I don't want to kill women. Both of you can leave. And Ladini Mataji, who was a senior most devotee there, she had preached to those young local African boys, and they had joined the brahmacharya ashram, and they had taken to Krishna consciousness very seriously. Ladini Mataji said, even though I am a brahmani, even though I am a pujari, even though I am in a female body, it is my dharma, it is my duty to protect these 7 boys that I have brought into Krishna consciousness. She told Prince Johnson, I will not stand and watch you murder them with your assault rifles. You cannot kill the devotees of Krishna. I will not let that happen. She was a simple lady wearing a sari, and these were military fatigue clad, assault rifle wielding, military trained professionals. There were a dozen of them pointing machine guns at them. and Prince Johnson was holding his pistol. And she said, I will not stand and watch you do this. She went full on Prince Johnson and tried to snatch the pistol. It was like Jatayu fighting Ravan. He had no hope. Jatayu was old, Ravan was young. Jatayu was unarmed, Ravan was heavily armed. But Jatayu did what needed to be done as a Vaishnava for Krishna. And Ladini Mataji did what needed to be done. She fought with Prince Johnson. All the machine guns were pointed at her, and she was shot so badly, and she was thrown in the river. Nothing of her body was found. Few days later, only her sari was found with many bullet holes in it. But my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, said Ladini Mataji went back to Krishna. She passed the final exam. She did not stand there watching Vaishnavas being slaughtered. So whatever situation we are in, based on what we have understood from Guru and Krishna, what we have understood from Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to figure out what is our dharma, what is our duty at that moment, and do it. The only precaution is we should never think that this is a material activity. Stopping somebody who is bulldozing your olive trees is not a material activity. It is a completely spiritual activity because you are protecting Krishna's trees. You are protecting, if one has the feeling that my house is Vrindavan, how can we stand and watch Krishna's and Radharani's Vrindavan being demolished? In Barsana, there is a very great saint. His name is Shri Ramesh Baba. He lives at Man Mandir in Barsana. Years ago, when he went there, the local mafia came and they wanted to cut down all the trees on Mangad of Gehvarvan. And Ramesh, whenever the bulldozer would come in front of a tree, this is how Ramesh Baba would stand. Here, first you bulldoze me. You cannot touch Krishna's trees. These are Radharani's trees. You cannot touch them. He would stand like this. And the powerful mafia had to go away. Not one tree they could break. So we have to figure out what is our dharma, what is our duty. And as Vaishnavas, as Krishna's devotees, we have to engage. Then there is no loss. Then it is not, oh, this is a spiritual activity. Chanting Hare Krishna is spiritual activity, and protecting the devotees who are being shot by the Nigerian rebel leader is not a Krishna conscious activity. No, it is as much a Krishna conscious activity. Jatayu fighting with Ravan was as powerful as chanting 64 rounds on Sharat Purnima, sitting in front of Rupa Goswami Samadhi Mandir in Radha Damodar temple in Seva Kunj Vrindavan. It was not different because he was doing it for Krishna. So whatever we do it for Krishna. If that is the understanding and that is what we are doing, then we don't have to worry. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I just chant Hare Krishna? Just chanting Hare Krishna is for Srila Haridas Thakur, who is Namacharya, who is in a renounced order of life. But we are not renounced. We are engaging in this world. We are working professionals. We are in the grihasthas. We are householders. I think all of us are householders. So we cannot turn a blind eye to this world. We have to be in the mood of Ladini Mataji. We have to be in the mood of Jatayu, even though it's a losing cause. Even though we know that the irreligious people outnumber us and they are terrorists, they don't have any moral values like we do, but still we have to engage. We cannot sit and let adharma or irreligiosity take over this world. We cannot sit and watch Ravan Rajya take over. We fight for Ram Rajya. We fight for Bhagavatam. We fight for the right, what is right. And it is completely Krishna conscious. We do it as devotees of Krishna. Does that help, Bhima Prabhu?
Prabhu, you thank you very much. You've said all that needs to be said regarding this subject, and I want to thank you. I cannot thank you more from the bottom of my heart to bring up Ladini Maharani. I had a brief time with her at New Vrindavan, on the road, on the pick, doing book distribution in Pittsburgh. I remember one time they were confiscating the books and her Lord Chaitanya Nityananda deities. And she threw herself in front of the deities, the police, and said, if you're taking the deities away, then take me. And they did. They arrested her. And then, of course, all the brahmacharis around her said, then take us. And of course, we were chastised severely because what happened was, in following the footsteps of a true warrior, Hladini Maharani, we were not able to do service for a whole weekend because we were all locked up. But this is a wonderful, wonderful example. And it just goes to show you that the most poignant example of Kshatriya spirit was offered by a Mataji in our movement. And just see how that this example, how it serves all of us, that coming upon these troubled times, and as you said, this is Kali Yuga, it's only going to get more and more troublesome, that we will always remember what you said, what you reminded us about with Hladini Maharani, and what our duty, what our dharma is into the future in regards to offering aid, solace, comfort, shelter, and protection to fellow Vaishnavas. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhima Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anand Bihari Prabhu is driving.
I stopped the car. I had to stop the car. Yeah, thank you. What an inspiring class, Adi Gadadhar Prabhu. Thank you so much. Rishi, what language are you translating to?
Mahamantra.
Oh, you're chanting. Okay. I thought you were broadcasting somewhere. Mahamantra language. Yes. That's right, Rishi. Thank you. Okay, would anyone else like to share anything? Appreciation, reflection? Wonderful class, nothing to add, as always.
Come on, everybody out.
Bhima Prabhu is preaching to his horse disciples. This is the perfection of a farm. Poop horses, it's all meant for service. Okay. All right. So with this, Chirayu. Go ahead, Chirayu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you for giving me a chance. So don't have a question, but just want to glorify Prabhu that, Prabhu is amazing, fallen soul like me. He keeps all of us so much connected to spiritual. I'll say he's just like a magnet. He's got so much energy that if we are connected to him, he will never let us fall down. So thank you, Prabhu, so much. Appreciate for everything. And thank you, Bhakti Center, for everything. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Chirayu Prabhu. Thank you for encouraging us. Thank you, Prabhus and Prabhujinis. It was so nice seeing you and associating with you. Have a wonderful, fulfilling Saturday. Keep chanting like Rishi at all times, even in class, taking prasadam like anything, making prasadam, offering bhoga to Krishna, driving for Krishna, shoveling poop for Krishna. Whatever you're doing, do it for Krishna. Like Adi Gadadhar Prabhu. Be sincere, surrendered, and desperate for Krishna. Thank you, Adi Gadadhar Prabhu. Okay.